In this video, I want to introduce a module I have been working on for a while. It's called browsel. And the idea of browsel is to become a two-way communication between Emacs and the browser. So how does it work? Emacs runs a server. This server is listening for connections that come from the browser. The browser runs an extension, and I have implemented extensions in both Firefox and Chrome. This allows two-way communication. Chrome can request actions from the browser, and the browser can request actions from Emacs, providing a very powerful architecture, in my opinion. So how does it work? Let me tell you some of the features that it provides. One of the fundamental ones is a URL handler, and is relatively fast in terms of response. So you can see here actually how quickly I was able to switch from one to the other. The other thing that happens, and it opened in the other extension, so let me close this tab to make this clear. So browsel, if you run it with different browsers, you can round the URLs to each one of them. So the extensions in each one of the browsers, in this case, I have one running in Chrome and the other one running in Firefox, will respond to it. So the URL handler has the possibility to specify for a given URL which of the browsers it should go to. And so in this case, I've designated that uvic.ca should go to Firefox, while gnu.org should go to Chrome. One interesting thing is that it doesn't open a new tab. It will actually find one that is already open. So for example, let's assume that I switch to this tab and now I try to visit again. It will actually send me to the tab that is already open. So it doesn't reopen a new tab. So that I find very useful. The other thing is that it provides a tab manager. So the tab manager will actually essentially show you a way to navigate through them. One interesting thing is that you have different ways to sort the information. By default is MRU, but you can sort it by URL or by title. I prefer MRU, most recently used, because it allows me to very quickly go to a tab that I want. So for example, let's say I want to go to this snippets, and then I can quickly jump to it. So I find it very effective. The tab manager operates with only one browser, and so you designate a default browser. In this case, my default browser is Chrome. There's also the ability to execute Babel code in the extension, and so let's put this way. So let's assume I want to actually know the URL of this tab, and so notice that I have it designated as the client being Chrome, and then I run it, and then it will ask me for permission. So I was a little bit paranoid about potential security issues when you allow any code to run in a browser. So the way that it works is that Emacs, whenever it asks for execution of JavaScript in a page, the extension will ask for permission. Notice that it can deny it, it can allow it once for 1 hour or forever. We can also do it here. So this is the extension. So let's allow access to this tab. And notice that the tab, the icon changed to red. So Emacs timeout, and because I didn't respond, so let's quit that and let's run it again. And then I have it. So the URL actually responded. And there's some interesting aspects with this. So let me, for example, go to a video, system crafters. And so one interesting aspect is if we actually go to
do the rendering of all the graphics.
the
it just has a
browser, I
Scheme
can
API on
actually
top of it. If you
query
want to check that out, go
for
look at it.
the current time.
But basically,
It
you can
will ask me
describe an
for
image
access.
with Scheme
And
code and then
so
have it be
you have
generated.
the ability
It's
to
not
execute
the
code in
best
the browser.
thing
You can
yet.
actually stop it.
You
You
can go take a
can
look at the SC Live thumbnail .sigil file here, and you can
advance
see
it. You
like,
can return it. And in fact, I have created
I mean, it's kind of
a
janky
couple of
looking code, but
functions
it is
to do
Scheme code
that
that
as a
describes
demonstration.
in
So browsel, and video advance. So this will
later. There's things I want
advance
to do with it. I really haven't gotten back to
few
it in a
seconds
while,
at
but
a
it's
time. So
we've
5
talked,
seconds by default.
which is
It also takes a universal argument.
multimedia
So let's say I
framework
want to
for video
advance
production. It's an open source project. It's available in Geeks,
100
and
seconds.
it effectively allows you
and,
to press.
and it will advance. So I find it actually
says
very
generated by
powerful because
Sigil
very
docs, but I don't think
frequently
that's
taking
accurate. I think it's
notes
actually
from
generated by
Emacs,
press.
and I want to be able to
But
control
it's a
the
static
video
type
without
generator. I
having
mean,
to go
every
back
damn
and
language
forth.
has
But
500 of those.
the fact that browsel talks to the extension directly,
Nothing that
it means
special,
that it's
okay?
relatively
Then,
speedy.
like, I've got
So
my whole set
I
of
find that
MCP
to
servers.
be
The one that
very powerful. And let's talk about some of the other features. And also, this is actually the execution of the code, so we can actually just advance it. And notice that it will just advance whatever time. So negative time goes backwards, positive time it goes forward in seconds, and the result is the location of the video. There's another aspect that I really wanted, and is the ability to inject JavaScript in a page. And from the browser, I have several features. So one of them, for example, is OR capture and or ROM capture. So I can actually just run it here, and it will immediately bring forward Emacs, and I can basically say, so let's have a quick to do, and then file this temporarily. I have other extensions. So for example, I can tell Emacs, save this video for later because I want to actually see it later. And so notice that it actually create a file. So it didn't create the file, already have it. And in here, it actually created an entry for it. So that's one of the interesting power that I have with it. I can also take the transcript and I can send it to Emacs, and it will save it. So that's one way in which I can inject JavaScript and being able to extract the transcript and then send it to Emacs. The other things that is actually quite nice is that you can essentially create your own features where you find a tab, send JavaScript to it, and then expect some information to be returned, or sometimes just to interact with a page. Let me show you an example of that here with DeepL. So in DeepL, I have, let's say that I want to translate this, and so I have a function that I wrote. So what it will do is it will prompt me for this text because maybe I want to edit it. I want to remove some. Maybe I might even want to add it. And then if I type return, it will actually send it to tab L. And so notice here it's actually it send it and it actually translated. Let's do it again. Let's actually have it with Emacs next. I don't want the browser in this case to come forward because I want to stay in Emacs. I just want to read the translation. I want to continue doing what I want to do. So if I do it again and let's actually just remove some text. So let's say that I don't care for any of this, and then I send it and it's translated so I can actually continue. And so I find the ability to do this extremely powerful because you can essentially interact with any browser from Emacs as long as you're willing to spend time understanding what JavaScript you need to do that. Then finally, in GitHub, so it's available in GitHub. I plan to submit it to Melpa. And so at this point, it's relatively stable. I'm still doing some fine tuning fine tuning here and there, but as you were able to see, it's able to do what I mentioned. So any comments are welcome, and send me email. You will find my information and in the page and of browsel. I hope it's useful.